In this video, I'll be going over the syllabus for your Math 1401 Elementary Statistics class for summer 2020. This class is offered by the Department of Mathematics in the College of Science and Mathematics at the University of North Georgia, and this will be a fully online class for summer 2020. Your professor's name is Dr. Bikash C. Das, and here you will see his office phone number, his office number, and his email address. But for this summer, since it is fully online, you'll only be able to contact your instructor via this email address, and this is the preferred method of contacting your instructor. So he will not be holding any in-person office hours at the university this summer, but he will be holding virtual office hours in the built-in learning platform Collaborate Ultra, and he's offering office hours Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 9 a.m. to 11. So you're welcome to email him anytime, and he'll try to get back to you within 48 hours. But if you have a question that you'd like a quicker feedback for, or something you'd prefer to talk about over a call, then you can join the Collaborate meetings, and you'll get more information about that in the future. So as I said, this is a fully online class, and you'll be using the e-learning D2L platform as well as the Top Hat external learning platform. So scrolling down, you'll see here a required text. So you actually do not need to purchase this book, but the class will be following along with Fundamentals of Statistics. And below that, there's an optional text. The optional text is a free open access online text, the Creative Commons Introductory Statistics textbook. So if you do feel like you'd like to have access to a textbook, this is one that you can get free of charge, and there'll be a link posted to this in the class D2L page. Online resources will be your class D2L page and mostly your class Top Hat page. So Top Hat is a learning platform that you will need to purchase access to, but it's reasonably priced. I think for the semester you'll pay about $26 for access to Top Hat, and you must have Top Hat because you'll be doing your homework, your tests, and weekly recitations in Top Hat. Below this, you'll see there are library resources and web-based resources. If you want to learn more about math, there's some really interesting reading here and fun websites that you can play around with. So these are just for your enrichment. Math 1401 Elementary Statistics is a non-calculus introduction to descriptive statistics and inferential hypothesis testing, linear regression and correlation, basic probability, the normal distribution, and estimation. This is a 3-credit-hour course, and it does have prerequisites. You need to have completed Math 1113 or above with a grade of C or higher. So please do check that you have the necessary prerequisite. The technology requirements that you'll need for this fully online course are access to e-learning, which of course you should all have as UNG students, and you log into e-learning with the same username and password as you check your UNG email. And then Top Hat you'll purchase access to, and your professor has emailed you with instructions for how you can sign up for Top Hat. And your professor also wants you to have a webcam. Since this is a fully online course, every online course will have a proctored activity, at least one or more. So you need to have a webcam in order to do the proctored activity. If you do not have a webcam, you should contact your instructor immediately to see what arrangements can be made. So here are the course objectives. This is a list of topics. As you can see, it's quite long. Of topics that you'll be learning this semester in elementary statistics, and tasks that you should be able to perform when you finish the course. So for example, upon completion of the course, you should be able to distinguish the use of descriptive statistics from the use of inferential statistics, distinguish qualitative data from quantitative data, and so on. So if you want a sneak peek at what you'll be learning this semester in statistics, this is a good reference for you. This section is the methods of instruction. Class resources will be available, as I said, on D2L but mostly you will be finding your class resources in Top Hat. That's where you should find the readings, the video lectures, the weekly recitations that you have to participate in, as well as your tests, your homework. So the coursework section is going to give us a general outline for the course and is subject to change, as are all of the details of the syllabus. If it becomes necessary to change the syllabus, your instructor will notify you. So the key thing about the online course is that you're going to have access to most of your assignments and learning materials at the beginning of the course, and you'll have weekly or more often than that activities. So you'll have due dates every week, and it's really up to you to manage your time and to determine when you can spend the time to complete the learning. So whatever day or time of day works best for you is all right. It is an online course and you have that freedom, but you have to make sure that you're spending enough time and that you're staying on top of your due dates and completing the activities by the due dates. There will be a course calendar later in the syllabus, and you should be able to see all of your due dates in Top Hat and D2L. Now this portion of the syllabus is dedicated to the idea of online discussion, which is a component of all online classes. For this class, your discussion participation credit is going to take the form of weekly recitations and other activities that you will complete in Top Hat. So your teacher will give you instructions about those. There are also discussion forums in Top Hat that are there for you to use to speak to your peers or to ask a question of your instructor. And so you'll want to make sure that you're following the proper netiquette when you are posting in the online discussion forum. So netiquette is just a set of standards or rules by which you'll want to make sure that you're following to make sure that you're respectful of other persons in the class and that you're presenting yourself in a professional manner. This is actually a link where I've highlighted here Netiquette Expectations video link. So the syllabus will be posted in D2L and you can click the link, and you must watch this video on netiquette to make sure that you meet the standards of the online classroom. A couple of other standards of the online classroom are spelling. This is a college course and spelling in all assignments is expected to be correct. Now, it is a math course, so sometimes you may not be using full sentences, but lots of times you actually will, and it is expected that you're using proper punctuation and grammar just like it would be in any other college course, as well as when you're communicating in the discussion forums or emailing your professor, you should make sure to use proper spelling, punctuation, and grammar, and be polite. Another area of concern is self-plagiarism, which again may not come into play as much in this class, but if you're using the discussion forums, you want to make sure that you are not copying and pasting your own words. Even if they're your words and you've written them, if you copy and paste them in more than one place, that can be considered plagiarism. Now, one very important thing that you need to know about are the mandatory attendance requirements. So you have 2 activities that you must complete within the first few days of the course in order to be counted as present in the course. In order for your instructor to know that you're participating, you must complete a mandatory attendance quiz in D2L and the introduction discussion in D2L. Now, I've already told you that most of the discussions will take place in Top Hat. This is the only quiz and the only discussion that you're going to do in D2L, but they must be completed within the first couple of days. The quiz is just a few questions, and the discussion, you'll just introduce yourself and tell any information that you'd like to about yourself, as much or as little as you'd like. But if you fail to complete these 2 assignments within the given time frame, you would be automatically withdrawn from the course. So this is the way of doing the role verification for the online courses. Please make sure that you do them. And remember that you have to do this for every online course in which you're enrolled. If you're signed up for more than one online course this summer, then you'll have to do it more than one time. Now we have some information about your assignments for this specific course. So as I mentioned, homeworks are going to be done online through Top Hat. And for each section or individual topic discussed, you'll have a small homework set. Typically, the homework sets will be assigned on a particular day and then due the following Saturday at 11:59 p.m., so at midnight Eastern Time. But again, you'll have access to all of your deadlines in Top Hat, and you just need to make sure that you're staying on top of all of the deadlines for all of your assignments. As far as quizzes are concerned, these will take the form of recitations, which will be done in Top Hat. And again, each recitation should be due on a Saturday at 11:59 p.m., but you'll just want to make sure that you stay on top of those deadlines. Then throughout the course, you'll have 3 mid-semester exams, and we're calling these hybrid exams because you're going to be using both paper and online exams. What do I mean? I mean, you're going to be taking your test in Top Hat online, but your instructor is going to provide you with the paper test. You are going to follow along on the paper test and show all of your work on paper. So even though you're typing or clicking your answers in Top Hat, you're showing your work on paper, and then when you submit your test, you will scan and send a paper copy of the test to your instructor as well. There are many ways to scan a paper copy of the test in. If you have access to a copy machine or a scanner at home, that's great. That's one way to do it. Just make sure that it's legible. Or if you have a smartphone, then you can use an app like Cam Scanner or any other app that turns the camera on your phone into a scanner. So you can just take a picture of the document and it will turn it into a PDF so that you can post it online and send it back to your instructor. One other thing to note about test taking is that the day before the test, your professor will email you with a list of time slots. You have to let your instructor know which time slot you want, and then the next day you will take your test in that 2-hour window. So your professor will send you the test at the time that you've chosen, and you'll have 2 hours to take it and send it back. So that's how tests are going to work. And if you don't remember all that, that's fine. Just remember that it's in the syllabus so you can come back and have the instructions when you need it. This is a breakdown of which material will be tested during which period. So the first 3 modules should make up your test 1, and the next 2 modules your test 2, and the next 4 modules will be test 3. Then the final exam will be done in the same fashion. That is to say, you will pick a 2-hour time slot, you'll take your test in Top Hat, but you'll follow along and show your work on paper, and then you'll scan and send a single PDF file back to your instructor. So the same format as the regular tests, but the final exam will be cumulative. Now here you'll see the grading rubric. It's the standard grading rubric that's used at UNG. Anything from 90 to 100 is an A, 80 to 90 is a B, and so on. And a little bit about the grade distribution is provided for you here. So you can see how many points you're getting from quizzes, how many points from weekly discussions, which will take place in Top Hat, how much from homework, and so on. The mandatory quiz and the introduction discussion are this here, this 2%. So you do have to complete them and they do count. And then these quizzes will be your recitations in Top Hat. You've got your tests, your final, and together this should make up your grade for the semester. You are required to complete all assignments by the due date and actively participate in class activities, and it is your responsibility to make sure that you're completing your assignments on time. So the best practice for online courses is logging in at least 3 times a week on different days in order to complete assignments and stay up to date with activities and the learning material. Participate in all assigned discussions and all assigned activities, and respond to questions from your instructor and your classmates. Now, in general, you've probably heard that there's a rule of thumb for college classes, which is that for every hour spent in class, or for every hour of lecture and learning material online, you should spend roughly 2 to 3 hours of your own time outside learning the material, working on homework, and so on. With online classes, you may find that you actually spend even a little bit more time because you are more responsible for your own learning in this setting than you might be during the traditional in-class setting. One very important announcement here is that because this is an online class, there will be no coursework accepted late. There are deadlines in the computer for all of your assignments. You need to make sure that you stay on top of those. So there are no excuses, no makeup assignments. If you miss an assignment, you will receive a 0. Here's where I mentioned that your professor will attempt to respond to all emails within 48 hours. Usually he's very good at responding much sooner than that, and will attempt to grade and give you feedback on assignments within a week after the assignment due date. The strongly preferred method of contacting your instructor is email. So if you have any questions at all, do email him and he'll get back to you. Since this is a fully online course, your attendance is just logging in and participating in the activities. There will be proctored activities throughout the semester, and attendance in an online course is defined in actively participating in all of the activities, including the proctored activities. So your success in this course is strongly dependent on your participation, your engagement, your time management, and your studying. Here you will find a link to the supplemental syllabus. So if we go ahead and click this, you'll see that this takes you to UNG's website. And on this website, you will find a number of links about things like the academic integrity policy, course grades and withdrawals, disability services, and so on. So that is provided there for you. And with regard to disability services, if you do feel that you need accommodation for a disability for this class or any other class, you do have to contact the Disability Services office. So your professor has provided here the contact information for each office. There's a Gainesville campus Disability Services office, Dahlonega campus, Oconee campus. So you'll contact the Disability Services office on your home campus should you feel that you need additional accommodations. Here you can see the course calendar, and I'll show you how to read it from left to right. So you'll see that the date is the leftmost column, and there'll be a topic. With each topic you have readings, perhaps a graded discussion, graded assignments, and graded quizzes. So you'll read it from left to right. The first day of class is June 1st, and you are required to participate in orientation and introduction. Read the Module 0 and Module Introduction. Complete the mandatory attendance discussion and take the mandatory attendance quiz. So you should do this right away. Then the first material from the course will be the Introduction to Data, and it's scheduled that it might take you up to 2 days to complete Module 1, Lesson 1, Module 1, Lesson 2. And then there's homework throughout the week, June 4th and 5th. You'll do data distribution. That's Module 2, Lesson 1, Module 2, Lesson 2. So you'll have homework 2.1 and homework 2.2, and at the end of the week, or as soon as you finish your homework, the first recitation. So in that way, you read your calendar and you see what you've got coming up for the week, which modules, which lessons you need to read the pages, watch the videos, and then which assignments you need to complete. So you'll always want to have this calendar handy to refer back to, and as I mentioned, if there are any due dates being changed, your instructor, your professor will let you know. He's also scheduled here the tests. The tentative test dates are built into this calendar. So please do have this calendar handy. That concludes our discussion of the syllabus. I'll bring you back to the top here where you'll see again your professor's name and his email address. If you have any questions after watching this syllabus video, do not hesitate to email him.